Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and this, of course, is the Resort Recon Live podcast. This is a podcast where, you know what, I spend Saturday here in the studio and update you on latest theme park news and, just nerd out about theme parks along with some of my fellow theme park nerds. And we just have a good time chatting and also answering your questions about visiting the theme parks as well. And speaking of that, I see one of my theme park nerdy friends is in the back, and I'm so glad he is broadcasting this stream through his channel as well. And that would be Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm tired. it's uh, it's the tiring Christmas season, but I got my gift, my own store, my Make Disney Waltz Again hat.
Ooh,
So
nice.
and my Follow the Bradley's Fun
Bradley's Fun.
T-shirt.
I gotta get up on my my merch game. My niece is like, Auntie, you got merch? You got merch? So I may give her a job when she's visiting, and she'll help me work on my merch store. I think that's what
I've got same thing, but like that's 2025 goals are getting lined up right now for sure.
I know. Isn't it something? It's just like it's never really a lot of rest with this theme park vlogging game. Last night I went out to SeaWorld because I finally got my SeaWorld annual pass, and I didn't realize how much walking I did until I tried to get up this morning, and I was like, "Oh, what bus hit me?"
Boy, do I know that feeling. Yeah, you don't know, like when you're out there doing it, like your mind is in that place where this is all what's going on. This is what I'm showing, and I'm talking to my audience, and you're not thinking about your body like at all. And then the
Mhm.
next day you wake up and you're like, what?
Like I'm falling and I can't get up. Literally,
Like I am
it
not
was so
24
bad.
anymore.
Oh man,
I
I
tell
had to
you
look
what.
at my watch, my Apple Watch, and see how much walking that I'd done. But it was great because there's nothing quite like visiting a brand new theme park that you know not that much about and
Mhm.
starting to find out where all the cool stuff is. So that was just so much fun. And I did that stream last night, so you guys can check that out. I'll show you guys a bunch of clips today as well. But let's see who we've got in the chat. 31 of you guys watching between YouTube and between X and I believe between Ron's channel as well. So thank you guys so much for being here. I know you're just getting around to here. So we're gonna welcome you guys into the chat, and then we're gonna hit some quick theme park news before we start talking about what Christmas has been like at the theme parks so far. So let's see. We've got DJ Knight here in the chat. Says can't wait. Well, I see you. You're here really early in the beginning. And let's see. We have Jan Monroe. Hello. Says I need a bit of advice. A friend of mine found 1988 Disney money. She donated to a group that raises money for children's hospitals. Now we have to figure out how to turn it into real money. I'm assuming you're talking about the Disney dollars. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jan. You're talking about Disney dollars. Um, turning it into real money. Well, it is. You probably do not want to do this. So I'm just putting this out here. Yes, if you still have Disney dollars, they are legal tender at Disney World and at Disneyland. So you actually can use those as you would use cash. Now, as a collector's item, I'd highly suggest that you get that sucker framed and possibly auction that, whether it be eBay, whether it be Mercari, or whether it be a private auction. But I honestly think it would be worth the investment to have it framed quite nicely. The same way that if you still have an actual Disney stock certificate or Pixar stock certificate, pretty much like that. What do you think, Ron?
Well, I was looking at this, and it says that now if she actually donated the physical money to a group that raises money for children's hospitals, it's unfortunately not going to be worth anything there because it's only
Hmm.
to use as tender at the parks. You cannot change it back into cash. That's what
Mm-hmm.
used to happen a long time ago is when you went to Disney World. Um, if you don't want to use credit cards, it was really fun. Like it was more of a fun idea than anything else. Is you could go to like a main street to whatever the building's called to the left, the
City
central
Hall.
what City Hall. That's it, City
City
Hall.
Hall.
And you
Okay.
could go. Here's $100 and change that into
Mm-hmm.
100 Disney bucks. And it would have like it'd be like Disney Monopoly money with Goofy on it and stuff. But you could spend it
Mm-hmm.
anywhere you wanted to at the parks or the restaurants. And back then, $100 might have been like 500 today or something. It's a
Yeah.
decent amount of money, and it was really fun to use it that way. But if you took it home with you, you couldn't use it as dollars anywhere else because it's just
No.
you can use it as a souvenir. You could take it back. It's funny because you know how they had the everlasting tickets, like when you buy a ticket, it had no expiration date. People are still using
Mm-hmm.
those to this day, and some people bought them for like 40, 50 bucks. Those are worth more money today. Of course, the Disney bucks are worth less money today because a dollar is still a dollar. So
Yeah.
if you
So
took
if
it back
you,
to the park, you would not get the same value that you used to as far as merchandise exchange is concerned. But they are valuable as far as a collector's item. So if you wanted to get any money for it now, you'd have to sell them as a collector's item, like on eBay or somewhere else.
mm-hmm.
I believe.
Three $1 bills and a $5 bill. Yeah, it's like if you took that $5 Disney dollar bill and say bought a man, I don't know anything under anything really under $5. Well, let's just say something was like $3, you would get back 2 US dollars, not two Disney dollars. I remember back in the day, sometimes it was fun to get Disney dollars to help save up for trips. I know some people who would do back when the Disney store was open and you could also get Disney dollars at the Disney store. So I remember doing that, like taking just for fun money. We'd take like $50 and we get 50 Disney dollars for uh for our trip. So yeah, that's a very good question, Jan Monroe. I love it when you guys bring up questions like that. Let's see, we've got Brogu. Hello. Who says hello, everyone? Well, hello and good to see you, Brogu.
Okay.
We've got BR Geist who's here, says hello, all. We have got Juliet enjoying her evening, says good evening, Lorena in chat. And let's see, we also have got Nita here who says, Heidi ho. Well, good to see you, my dear. Smell all nice and flowery. I will never forget that South Park episode. Oh my gosh, I was dry heaving because I was laughing so freaking hard.
Indeed.
You guys need a couple assistant. Yes, I do. I could use an assistant. That's why I'm gonna use my niece when she's here. I'm gonna keep her quite busy. I may actually have her learn how to do some editing for me too, as well. And if her mother agrees to it, she might be in a couple of vlogs because while they're here, we're going to, oh my gosh, where are we going? Legoland, Peppa Pig Land, taking them to SeaWorld, and also taking them
Peppa
over
Pig.
to Studios Park.
I
Yes.
would like to go to Peppa Pig
Okay.
Land and attempt to talk that way the entire time I'm there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Peppa Pig Land. It's very exciting here. Are there any roller coasters we could go on, Mummy?
Daddy, go.
Daddy?
Go. I will say about Peppa Pig Land, one of the things that's really cool is that they opened as a certified autism center. So if you have some little people visiting with you who are on the spectrum, they have these special assistants called puddle jumpers who will accompany you and help you. So that's always really, really cool. Really cool perk about that. And I cannot wait to film these little monsters at Shrek Swamp. I'm just saying, I can't wait to see that. Hey, Tom, good to see you.
God,
And we've got
why,
Jeremiah
sir?
Hembry watching from over there on Rod's
God.
channel. Good to see you. Jared Markham is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. 12 to 13 miles. Oh my gosh. I think the highest I've been is maybe 10. So
Oof.
I think you have me beat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey Tina, good to see you. Good to see you. And Juliet says, when I was 24, Thatcher was our prime minister. Reagan was your president. You know what? You know what I loved about Lady Margaret Thatcher? Her purse always matched her outfit. And I always thought that was the coolest freaking thing ever.
That was, and then they still had the queen, right? So they had two female
Mm-hmm.
executives. Yeah. And we had,
Yes.
well, Nancy and I, well, we're gonna go hit the hit the farm and the ranch in California before we come back to the White House, and Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that
Yeah.
wall.
You do good Reagan.
Well, you know, Ronnie and I go way back.
Hey, Dylan.
What is up, Dylan Soup?
Dylan Soup is in the chat. We got Braylon Lee in the chat. Says, hey, good people. Hey, Braylon. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We're going to be watching tonight
Oh, tonight.
over on my channel. Yes, yes, we are watching that tonight. Tonight's a watch party. I'll be running from.
Have you ever seen the television version with the added scene? So apparently there is a secret like TV version that would air on TV sometimes, and in order to like stretch the time, remember how like you know how when things would air on television they would edit it for TV? Well, there's a scene that was a deleted scene that they put in. And some people remember seeing this and they think it's part of the movie, but it has to do with when he's at the Christmas tree lot in the very, very beginning. And there's actually a whole scene where he's dealing with the owner of the Christmas tree lot and talking about how he didn't bring a shovel or anything. And it's like between the time, like after they see the tree, he's like, and then they cut to a scene where he talks about not bringing a shovel and do they have any type of thing to get it out with instead of cutting straight to the house where they have it on the card and it's got the roots and everything showing. that movie though, man, that is you cannot have Christmas without seeing that movie.
You cannot.
And Die Hard.
And Die Hard. Yeah, so we're watching National Lampoon's Vacation tonight, and then Die Hard the next Saturday.
And Die Hard holds a very special place in my heart because of an episode of Friends. Mm-hmm. the episode of Friends that I got to be in the studio audience for. And at the very beginning of it, they're watching Die Hard and they fall asleep on the couch. And it's Ross and Joey and end up taking a nap together. And they wake up cuddled in each other's arms. And it's like 35 minutes it took for them to film that scene because they were laughing every single time the camera panned onto them. But I'll never forget like this whole thing with Die Hard and Friends in my brain. And so that connects Die Hard and Friends to Christmas time. And it's one of those weird things that happens in life.
Well, I will tell you, the Cleveland show, which I freaking loved way more than Family Guy, did a parody of Die Hard, which was so freaking funny. It was perfect. Absolutely, absolutely perfect. But you guys will actually be able to catch me at 4 over on Retro Nerd Girls channel to watch A Muppet Christmas Carol along with Douglas A. Burton. So we're going to be watching that, and I'm glad she told me because it slipped my mind. Well, we have got 86 of you guys here between between YouTube, of course, over on Ron's channel. Let's kick off with some theme park news. So this is courtesy actually of Theme Park Casual. And I'm kind of mad I missed this because when I drove by, it was like I don't know, there were like red lights in an arc like this, but this is actually the Stardust Racers.
Yeah, are
So
we
it's
100% sure that these aren't Iranian drones?
yes, we are sure. We
Those look
are
so
sure.
cool, by the way. That looks so awesome.
Isn't that awesome? And it's lit up just like the Velocicoaster. If you see the Velocicoaster over at Islands of Adventure, the Velocicoaster has red. There's no external track lighting. The cars themselves are lit up in blue LEDs, so it looks so cool seeing them run around at night. And this is the same exact thing. Oh my gosh,
Lorena,
they look
do
incredible.
you know where is a, because I see Helios lit up there in the back too, the
Yes.
Helios Hotel. Where do you like park to get a good vantage point of where Epic Universe is going to be? Like I have tried to figure out when I'm driving past there, where do I park and stop to get some kind of a decent view. I've driven back behind the Top
Mhm.
Golf there and into that apartment complex, and it's hard to see from there. And like, I don't want to disturb anybody either, but like, I want to get images.
I'm glad you brought that up because there are a couple of places you can, let's see, if you go to not the Publix, not over there by the apartments, but one place is if you go to Icon Park, go all the way to the top of the parking structure. You have a vantage point directly
Okay.
into Epic Universe. So you can take, the Orlando Eye as well. That's actually really cool because you're like going up so you can get pictures like from this level all the way up to the top level. So you can do it that way. And again, of course, you can go up on the top deck of the parking garage there. You can also, which is one of my favorite things to do, actually two of them, drop by at the Chick-fil-A. That is literally ground zero for me. Go to the Chick-fil-A. You can walk out of the Chick-fil-A and walk either actually to the left because you can only walk to the right, but so much before the construction barriers are up where Stella Nova and Terra Luna are, that construction. But if you walk to the right, you can actually start to see, you can see parts of it. There's the apartments that are there, like I think the Addison or something like that. A couple of apartments that are there, but you can see the tracks. Also, if you park at the Epic Wawa, which is now open at the intersection of Destination Parkway and John Young
Oh, it's
Parkway,
open. Okay, cool.
it's open now. So if you park there and, walk up, where that walkway is to the right, and you keep going, and then there's that wide expanse of water, you can see Stardust Racers. You can see the entrance to the Isle of Burke. You can also see the Constellation Carousel as well. So those are good places. Also, if you walk further, you can walk further up past Epic Boulevard. Yeah, it's a little bit of a hike. Not a huge hike, but if you pass Epic Boulevard, which is where you'll turn into Park when the park is open, totally. You keep going. There's a side street called Constellation Way. You get a great view of Helios as well. So it's really cool to see that. So those are some areas that some folks really haven't talked a lot about. I've just run into them by accident, just like, oh, you can see so and so from here, or
Yeah,
you can see,
I haven't been by in a while, so I got to check it out.
yeah. Thank you, Jeremiah Henry, for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you so, so, so very much. Members, so many things coming up for you guys. If you're a channel member, you saw the video I dropped last night of the Sesame Street Christmas Parade at SeaWorld, which I'll show a little bit of a clip, but awesome, awesome, awesome. Such a fun time watching all the families. cold brew on the way in. Yes, absolutely. Gotta love those cold brews. Gotta love those cold brews. But Bio Reconstruct has one as well that I'll show you guys. So this is an aerial view. Follow Bio Reconstruct
Definitely
if
followed
you are
by a
on
reconstruct.
X. He has been following this ever since Epic Universe was this flat trucks going all through it. Like I was driving by this construction area for like a couple of months before I knew that they were actually that's where they were building Epic Universe. But yeah, this is Stardust Racers. This particular roller coaster is built by the Mack family, Mack coasters, which they're very popular over in Europe. I wish Erica was on the stream to talk about this a little bit more, but they literally their icon is Walt Disney. Like
which land is this in? Is this in Celestial Park or How to Train Your Dragon?
this is in Celestial Park.
Okay.
This is in Celestial Park. So
It's so reminiscent of what was the
Dueling
one?
Dragons.
Dueling Dragons, yeah.
Yeah, I miss Dueling Dragons. That was a fun coaster. But this is like gorgeous. You'll come within feet. Actually, I think less than a foot of the other cars when they cross over. But the Mack family built this. They are also building the quote unquote flying theater that's going to be over in SeaWorld. So you know how Soarin', you're like up in the air and everything. But with this coaster over in SeaWorld that Mack is building, that particular floating theater, it's like you're going underwater into the Antarctic. So this looks so freaking cool. The hang time in this is insane.
And I have been saying this, and I'm going to say it on every stream we talk about Epic Universe or Universal, that one of the things that people are not, that like Pixie Dust or Disney people are not taking into consideration is that now this puts, with Epic where it is exactly, it puts 4 theme parks and 2 water parks into the same geographic footprint area-wise as Disney. Actually, maybe even smaller. Because when you take into account where Animal Kingdom is located versus where Magic Kingdom is located, Hollywood Studios, of course, and Epcot are very close to each other. Well, now you have Islands, Universal, Epic, and SeaWorld. Even though they're not all part of the same company, if somebody wanted to do a vacation, like let's say they stayed at Helios, which is like basically the mid-ground for everything. I mean, SeaWorld is like a 5-minute drive from there, maybe. And then you've got, they can take the buses that will be the Universal exclusive buses over to City Walk and Islands, and they're going to have, I mean, it's all right there. If you're coming to Orlando and you're planning for a vacation
coaster. Sorry, I just looked at that. I'm like,
Islands
oh wait, that's the
Yeah.
Isle of Burt coaster. But look how close that is.
It's so cool. My point is this changes the game for people that are coming here to Orlando to plan a family vacation. If you do a Universal vacation, you've got 4 parks and 2 water parks to choose from if you take into SeaWorld into consideration in that same geographical space that is Disney. So plus, in addition to that, you've got all of the outside of Universal stuff that's right there on International Drive. So it just depends on the kind of vacation you're going to want. If you're wanting a lot more rides and adventure, and I think much better selection of water parks now, and everything else, a Universal vacation, and I think it may even cost less to get all of that done and get that in on a Universal vacation rather than just a Disney vacation. And I don't think I'll be honest, I don't think there's a ton of people that take a Disney vacation and add on Universal, or a Universal vacation and add on Disney. There's probably more that do Universal add on Disney, but I think that this is going to kind of divide up. Like if you're coming to Orlando and you're thinking, okay, we got to fit stuff in, if you have 2 weeks, if you're on holiday from like Europe and you have 2 weeks, yeah, do it all, right? Great. But if you're like an American family doing a 1 week vacation, it's going to be kind of a pick and choose between, am I going to do Universal or Disney? And this just makes so much more available for Universal. I think it's really going to change the game in ways that people can't, like, not even I can predict right now.
Yeah, I don't think what some people don't realize is how far apart Universal and Disney are. So with Universal, they're more embedded closer to Orlando Central as we know it. But to get to Disney, it's like you have to go an extra like 10 miles or so. And then you have to drive extra to get onto the property. And then you got to park. And then you got to take a plane, train, or automobile pretty much to get to the entrance of the park. And that's kind of wearing on families. So when you're talking about where Epic Universe is, and I cannot stress enough the fact that you can walk from the Orange County Convention Center to Epic Universe. I mean, they're probably going to have the green trolleys and everything running around, but not only do you have Epic Universe, and of course you have Helios, which is priced, I want to say, what the moderate resorts are at Disney right now. You also have those two value hotels, Stella Nova, which I can't wait to stay in next month and the next month, and you've got Terra Luna. So you got those two. But you also have along Universal Boulevard your standard hotels, or we'll call them good neighbor hotels, just to borrow Disney's lexicon, like Doubletree, like the Hampton Inn. I think as a Holiday Inn that's there. There's a bunch of these little hotels that are around there, so that if Universal is a little too expensive, or if you're just like, you know what, I need my loyalty points, it's all literally right there. And within walking distance, you've got a Publix not too far down. There's another entertainment district that's there on iDrive. It is such a game changer.
For anybody that's in the chat right now, they might be considering coming here to celebrate holidays next year. Let's say that you happen to come over Thanksgiving week and you're doing Epic. I'm going to tell you, my hidden gem of a secret place to eat Thanksgiving dinner is at the Doubletree Hotel that's just down the street. It's on the corner of, I believe was it Universal Boulevard, coming off of 528 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow,
yeah.
There's a restaurant there called Laguna Inn. I believe Laguna Inn. They have, for under $40 per person, the best Thanksgiving spread that I've ever experienced here in the Orlando area. It is a buffet. They have turkey, ham, fish, chicken, pot roast. They have a whole bunch of different meats, as well as every different Thanksgiving side dish that you can imagine, salad, desserts. And again, it's all you care to eat Thanksgiving dinner. And it may go up next year because of Epic Universe being in the area. And if people find out about it, it's literally like the best kept Thanksgiving secret in Orlando, because I don't see a lot of advertising for it, but it is good. We discovered it in 2020, and it's an amazing place to eat. And it's right there, 5-minute drive from Helios Hotel if you're staying there. So
right there.
So
and
good.
Going Shogi, thank you for this $4.99 super chat. Says, I don't just want Epic to eat Disney's lunch. I want it to call Disney a dork, give it a wedgie, and shove it in a locker too. How's that legacy, Bob? You know what? I gotta play the clip for you.
This is pathetic.
Join in, folks. It's yodeling time.
Here at Lester's.
Elephant green screen effect.
they have it coming. They really do. And thank you, Go and Shogi, for that. I mean, it is. Some pixie dusters probably don't want to hear this, but it's true. It's Disney's own fault, because Universal has been doing the absolute crazy amount of I want to say market research. I want to say probably for like over a decade. If you ever take a survey with Universal, they keep asking you, did you stay, are you visiting Disney? Or are you just visiting Universal? Are you visiting both? Where are you staying? Are you staying in Universal? Are you staying at Disney? What particularly was it about Disney that made you stay with Disney? What is Disney doing that you wish Universal did? What is Disney not doing right? Let us know about that. They have a crazy amount of market research, and they have made it known that they are coming after Disney's market share. And KMG, good to see you, my dear. Said, did y'all see Disney CFO recent interview where he admitted Disney is preparing for losses due to Epic? I have to go back and watch that. I heard that. So much for certain Disney influencers saying Disney doesn't care about / compete with Universal. Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They weren't going to say it up front, but trust me, they've been worried about it. They just didn't want
I mean, I think that's why
down.
Disney is making irrational decisions like destroying Rivers of America. I don't think it's part of it is that they have a certain ideology of the people in Burbank making those decisions and going, well, we need to get rid of the stuff that they in their own imaginations consider problematic in this like tiny little bubble worldview that they live in. Because the history of the United States is problematic. We got to get rid of that. That's come on, guys, that's ridiculous. But also they're doing it on the fly, and they're doing this as a response, and they've been in response mode since 2010, since Harry Potter opened, and that is why we haven't really gotten great things out of Disney. Now, I don't know about you, Lorena. I had a lot of hope when they first announced Galaxy's Edge and when they first announced Toy Story Land. And I put my faith that Disney knew what they were doing by destroying the Streets of America and by destroying Lights, Motors, Action and all that stuff. And I'm like, boy, I hate to see it go, but I was of that mind, but Galaxy's Edge is going to be so good to have a Star Wars Land, and Toy Story Land is going to be, and I cannot believe in myself how much I was let down by those lands. And it's not because they're bad. It's because they do not live up to what was there before. And Star Wars Weekends was so much of a better experience for a Star Wars fan than Galaxy's Edge is, because Star Wars Weekends was about the people. That's what made it so cool. You had literally thousands of Star Wars characters you were surrounded with there, and your mind could make the land. It didn't matter. Like, people just don't understand. I mean, the executives, I didn't say people, but Disney executives simply don't understand. Now, I will say this, on the other hand, that there are two things, in my opinion, that Universal could do better. One of them has to do with their annual pass pricing. Disney starts out every single annual pass with a $205 only down payment, and Universal makes you pay half of whatever the annual pass is down. That is can be a slightly cost prohibitive, whatever that word is.
Because I don't remember that was it? Maybe it was. It's been so long ago since I first bought my pass.
Universal Pass, they like for the most expensive pass, which I would want the most expensive pass, which is only about half the price of the Disney most expensive pass, but you have to pay like $450 or $500 down, or whatever whatever half is to get it, and then they go on a monthly payment program for the rest of it, which is good. And that's not as big of a deal as I think the second thing is, and that is dark rides, especially dark water rides. They don't have any of those like good, slow, like Disney has a ton of them, right? Disney has Living with the Land, they have Small World, they have Grand Fiesta Tour, whatever it's called. They have they have tons of those dark rides, like what Maelstrom used to be the Frozen ride. Both SeaWorld and Universal, I think, could use maybe just a couple of dark rides like that, so that the little kiddos have a place to go on a ride with their grandparents. They don't have as much of that at Universal, but theming, as far as theming, Universal is blowing away Disney's game at theming, theme lands, involved lands. Like, I mean, when you go into Harry Potter, I don't care whether it's Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, you feel like you actually walked into the movie. When you go into Galaxy's Edge, you're like, it's an uncanny valley feeling, because you never saw this in a Star Wars movie. You're like, it's like Star Wars-ish, kind of, but it's weird.
It's not, because I know I was excited for Galaxy's Edge, because I'm like, let me get this straight. This is going to be like Star Wars weekends 24/7, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That's what I thought we were going to get. You have the hotel, and then, hey, if I want to leave the hotel and then go into Galaxy's Edge, it's going to be like strolling into Mos Eisley Spaceport. I thought that's what we're going to get. That's the experience I thought was going to happen. And that was the goodwill of a lot of fans. And actually, the way that Imagineering was going, until Kathleen Kennedy basically said, you know what, that we don't need a basis on the old stuff that makes money and has generational interest. No, let's make it based on the sequel trilogy, which no one, I won't say no one facetiously, is interested in. So that when you go to Galaxy's Edge, 9 times out of 10 when I go, I will hear people say things like, where's the old Star Wars? What is this supposed to be? I don't get it. This makes no sense. There's nothing that tells you that it's Star Wars. Now, case in point, walk through the Toy Story land. You know exactly what's going on. Even if you've never seen the movie, you have an idea of what's going on and where you're supposed to be, and how you're like literally the size of a toy, and that it's Andy's backyard, and you've got, the Green Army men who walk through and say, welcome to Andy's backyard. You get that idea, and it's so buzzing with activity as compared to what's going on over at Galaxy's Edge. That was just a mess.
So that's one thing that I would suggest that they add to Toy Story Land that they could do without changing anything else there, is add some giant blades of grass somewhere, so it makes you feel like, remember the Honey I Shrunk the Kids playground, and you like actually felt like you were in a yard and blades of grass. Andy's backyard feels a little blank of it being a backyard, because I see the fencing and everything else, and I'm like, there's no blades of grass. I should be like a toy shrunk. I don't know, put them somewhere in the land.
It's like off to the side, because there's like some grass, and you see like one of the Green Army men that's got like his glasses.
They have. It's funny because with the Green Army men coming through, it feels like they actually do more in Toy Story Land than you see with like Rey or Chewbacca or they have so few Star Wars characters. And what they were trying to say in the beginning is like every cast member there was supposed to be their own Star Wars character, but it doesn't feel like that. They feel very much just like cast members working in a big Star Wars themed gift shop. And they don't, and when you go into the bar, Olga's Cantina, shouldn't Olga's Cantina feel like, the cantina from Star Wars?
Yeah, it does not feel like Mos Eisley Cantina.
Right.
You need all the weird looking. That's what I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get that weird ass bar, and you're going to walk in, and there's all kinds of aliens hanging around.
They literally should have, and of course now they built the damn bar way too small for this to do it functionally.
And they kick you out in 50 minutes.
But they should have 10 different alien looking cast member characters there all the time who are just like there hanging out at the bar, except that they built Oga's way too small to do that. And then also have people there. So it's like, and remember that we were supposed to get that full service restaurant that never happened either.
Yes, that never happened.
If they, and the hotel, boy, that's a whole other ball game. They would have been much smarter to just build a very large Star Wars themed hotel that had some kind of walkway.
And that was the plan. That was the plan, to have that hotel, like a permanent hotel that was there, and you could pretty much come and go the way you wanted to. But somebody decided they wanted to make it a boutique experience, but whatever. But rolling on to more Disney news before we go into holiday stuff at the park. Here from Vlog Mickey, Walt Disney Imagineering files site prep permit for Tropical America's reimagining of Dino Land USA. When was the last time you were at Animal Kingdom, Ron?
It's been a month or two, not too long ago.
Okay.
And Dinosaur, I remember taking pictures of Gertie because I'm like, well, I don't know if that she'll be here next time, but apparently nothing has changed. I'm praying beyond hope that the Boneyard somehow stays in some form or another, because they're getting rid of all the children's playgrounds at Disney, and the Boneyard is the best. The Boneyard is it's like, what does that have, like 5, 6, 7 slides? It's so cool.
It is like, I kid you not, the Boneyard reminds me of Shrek's playground for little ogres. It literally is, with all the stuff that the kids can do and run up and slide down and interact with and all of that. The camera girl loved the Boneyard. You could like let the kids go in there and run around and and do whatever, and it was really fun for them to do. But now, well, that's still there for now. But if you go past, that's not Kang and Kodos, Twirl and Hurl. I forget what the little spinning Triceratops spin. Okay.
Twirl and Hurl.
Yes. Kang and Kodos, Twirl and Hurl. That was way funnier than I thought it was going to be when I had a chance to ride it. But Primeval Whirl is gone, and you've got these fences that are up there. So I guess the site permit is for them to actually start some construction or whatever. I don't know, but
well, they're not doing Dinosaur. I mean, Dinosaur's staying for all of 2025.
Yeah, Dinosaur, they're not moving that yet, but it looks like they're going to put the Tropical Americas part over here. So up here, I guess like here to the left, right over here, this is the gift shop, which I'm going to miss, because if you go into that gift shop,
I love that gift shop,
crazily themed on the on the inside, and I'm forgetting the dark Chester and Hester's. Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of south of the border.
That looks like, is that the fencing, that the construction fencing that they put up from above? So I'm seeing that right there, and of course that was a, that's been that tremendous blank space since they took out the Time Whirligig coaster that some people, I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. The only issue that I had, with the land in general was that it was the exact opposite of what Walt Disney's idea was when he had Disneyland in mind. It's like Lillian wanted him to get away from the idea of like a what do you call it, a fair, like a county fair type thing. So which is what this looked like, right? So, but that's okay.
Carny ride.
yeah, the carnival. But it made sense as to have that place where they have the games and all that stuff for the kids, and Dino Land has always been more of a kids land. Now the ride Dinosaur, that's never been one of my favorite rides, because I don't like that bumpy stuff. It hurts like on my back, and it's an okay ride. But when it comes to dinosaur theming of rides, Jurassic Park to me is a way better dinosaur themed ride than Dinosaur was. And you get the water, and I still have hope that the Jurassic World ride that's over at Universal Hollywood will somehow make its way over to us. I would like to see maybe a Jurassic World being added as another theme land to Epic in the future. I would not mind that at all, especially with Dino Land becoming extinct at Disney. If Disney say, hey, you know what, we're going to give all the dinosaur stuff over to Universal, then hey, Universal, do up the dinosaurs as big as you can everywhere you can. That's what I say.
Okay, well, yeah, so they've got this permit, notice of commencement permit. So basically, it looks like scope of work is defined as area development, which likely means land clearing and sculpting and all of that stuff. Because right now, it's just that fence is up, just that area is up. So it looks like this is when they'll actually start work. Permit expires December 30th, 2025. So we'll see what's going on with that, because I will be keeping track of this Tropical Americas being built. We're supposed to get another dark ride over in this area, and Encanto dark ride, I believe, that we're supposed to get. So keep an eye on that. And speaking of stuff that is really anticlimactic, those who are on the media list have been getting an early look at the Polynesian Village Resort Tower. I'm not impressed.
Looks like any Hilton, any Marriott.
It does.
It's not.
It does.
It's one of those things where you go, hey, it's not like this isn't nice. It's not that. It's not about that. It's about Disney theming what it was versus what it is now. But is this a movement in the United States in general? Because have you noticed that the McDonald's have been changing to look like IKEA shops there? Like my local McDonald's just did a refurb, and I'm like, this is the biggest downgrade I've ever seen. And now they don't have people actually working cash registers. Everybody has to order from a computer kiosk. And I'm thinking, and I know this McDonald's totally not compared to Disney, but is it that everybody in architecture, everybody in engineering is thinking this way? Has something happened with maybe the younger generation of people coming up, so that, nothing's colorful anymore. Everything's bland. Everything of these like low key beiges and whites. And look at the blandness of that. What am I staring at? It could be a hospital. It's like the Communicore thing. It's like, what the heck happened with all of this junk?
I think a lot of it has to do with standardization. Some companies do not want to sink money into having different locations look different, because that used to be the thing back in the day. It's like a McDonald's, it had your standard stuff, but some McDonald's were tricked out more than others, or looked differently, more than others. But I think in order to quote unquote save money, which I think is a bad idea when it comes to aesthetics, is to make all this stuff look the same. Now, if you go and look at, like, say, Epic Universe, and look at the different shops, and yeah, they're two hotels, which they're supposed to be sister hotels, which makes sense, but they still have their splashes of color and other different details that are in it. And thank you, Kiss My Grits, for that 1999 super chat. Thank you so very much. Here we go.
This is pathetic.
Join in, folks. It's yodeling time.
Here at Lester's
Elephant green screen effect.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna freaking love that.
Bark.
All I need is the clip with the kid screaming, "I don't want to go!" And it looks like the gator mouth from Gatorland. Universal should build a mega movie ride. I'd build it in place of E.T., Animal Actor Stage. Movies featured could be Jaws, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Psycho, Rear Window, E.T., American Graffiti, Breakfast Club, etc. I think that would be an awesome
That would
idea,
be,
especially
yeah.
seeing the parade.
Especially since the Great Movie Ride is gone at Disney now,
Mhm,
a mega movie ride idea with what Universal has in their properties could work really, really well, and
mhm,
could be a spit in your face moment for Universal back to Disney, especially if they make it like okay, think about this. Make it kind of like Great Movie Ride was, but also it's a 4DX type of an experience where there's animatronics, but there's also screens and something 3D involved, and then your seats also moving
mhm.
around, and they have real actors involved. I mean, make it really, really an immersive experience with the movies. That could be so cool, like like Great Movie Ride, what it could be if it were built today. It would be awesome. But yeah, this blandification. Who said that blandification? That's a
Mhm.
perfect word. It feels like, and this is kind of weird, but I see this like bland, like this is modern, right? This is, but
Mhm.
uh, it's like, are you trying to move us towards a dystopian future that we see in all these stupid teen movies from the last
So
decades?
it's like we're it's like people go to parks like this to get escapism. Like for example, when I walk into the Polynesian Resort, which is why it was always my favorite, for the yeeted the darn orchid garden in the middle. When you walk into the Polynesian, it is like nowhere else. They've got like the water features outside, the tiki torches, all of the vegetation, and then you go inside and there's like parts that are like carved. Like it's supposed to look like a great ceremonial house, you know, on one of the Polynesian islands. And all that character, that's what the Polynesian has. What the towers have just looks like any. I'm not even going to insult Hilton by saying it looks like a Hilton, because I've been to some Hiltons that look pretty freaking good. But it's boring, it's minimalist, it's this Gensler, uh, I don't know, concourse dining hall kind of look that is so boring. Like, why would you want to stay there? I mean, take into account, go to like the Animal Kingdom Lodge, go to like the Wilderness Lodge, and you look at the things that
Oh
make those
wow, yeah.
resorts so unique. I mean, the Wilderness Lodge you walk into, and they've got these huge totem poles that go, I forget how many hundreds of feet that it goes up to, but it looks incredible. This looks
This is
so
going to
boring.
look just like, or rather, when it's built, even though this technically came later, but now it's coming earlier online. The Reflections, that's no longer called Reflections Resort, or that they're building at Fort Wilderness, the new DVC,
Right.
whatever they're calling it now. It's still Reflections. Um, it's gonna look like a cut and paste of this. Like this is exactly what it's gonna look like, and
It
this
does.
this
So
is
ugly.
it's like, I feel like it's like an airport. Like it feels very airport like in its design. And it
Mhm.
seems like all public spaces are being designed to look like that these days.
There's
It's
no authenticity to it. There's no it doesn't feel, I guess what the word I would use is, it doesn't feel grounded. Like if you look at the way Aulani looks, it's like, okay, that makes sense with how that hotel looks, and you have the authentic touches. But this looks like the okay, I was gonna say it looks like one of the concourses at the Tampa airport, but honestly, the Tampa airport looks pretty freaking awesome.
yeah.
This is just like, you can only pay for 3 colors. That's all you get.
I tell you what, I was holding out hope for, but I don't think I can anymore. And that is that they built some space in there without telling anybody about it, which would have been really, really cool, for the luau, and that the luau was going to come back. And I don't think there's any
Mhm.
space there for the luau. And how cool would it have been right? How cool would it have been if they would have opened this up and said, "Oh, by the way, we're bringing the luau back, guys." People would have gotten on board for that, I think, like a little
Luau
bit.
was problematic.
How? How is the luau problematic?
It isn't, but you know these people. It's just like the luau. Okay, the luau was cheesy as hell, but you know what? That's what luau's are when you go to Hawaii. And for some of us who would never be going to Hawaii, loved the luau, loved all the dances, loved the cheesy story, loved the food, everything. It was like if you went to Walt Disney World and you went to the Polynesian, you had to go to the luau. You
I'll,
just that was just one of those things you had to do.
I like the luau better than hoop to do. I mean, I'll be the
I
first to admit it.
agree.
Hoop to
I
do is
do.
loud and obnoxious, and now that I've seen the kitchen, toured the kitchen where everything is prepared
Mhm.
for hoop to do, I will never eat there again. I will never go there again because I know how the food is prepared and it's kind of
Oh
nasty.
dear. Although
Um,
I will agree with you. I did, and I've been to the hoop to do. I do like the luau better than the hoop de
I'm going
doo.
to
The
tell everybody
luau.
this. You need to know if you're going to hoop to do that food before you've ever touched it has been prepared for at least 30 minutes, if not longer. And it has gone through several waiting stations, not just one, but several.
Mhm.
And they kind of get gross. A lot of fingers. It's been through a lot of hands. It's I mean, I will spill the beans about that because I worked there for 2 days. The reason I worked there for 2 days and left is because I said I can't deal with this location. It's gross. It's
Oh,
and
well, maybe listen.
and because of that, I will never eat there again. There are plenty of other good places to get ribs and chicken for real.
Yeah. Like Morimoto Asia. Go and Shogi says there was always such a long line for the luau. Yes, they have got to be losing a ton of money by bailing on it. Yes, and yes, because to get there, it was so secluded, like where you had to
Oh,
walk to
so
get
cool.
there. And then, you had people who craftsmen would like greet you and give you lays and then would take pictures and then you'd have drinks and then they walk you over to your table individually and you could even get a souvenir glass, which I don't know what happened to mine, but man, the photo packages, those things sold like crazy. So something else. Good seeing you, Brogu. You guys take care. Take care. Native Hawaiian is here. Hello, says aloha and happy Saturday, y'all. I will say that if you want to go to the luau, and I still have to schedule to go, Universal Orlando still has their luau at the Royal Pacific. The Wanatan luau, either way, that's on my list. I've been trying to go to that luau
Yeah.
for years.
Okay. So you said the one at the Royal Pacific at Universal, right?
Yeah.
I know everybody that does that luau. I haven't been to it yet. Can't believe it, but I used to go to church with the family that does the luau.
Hmm.
So and I'm like, I can't. All the times they've invited me and said, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Come and like I'm assuming it's still the same family that does it. They
Hmm.
may have changed, but for at least many years, I went to church with that family, and I know them really well, or did know them very well. Very cool family, and I need to get over there and see that anyway, just because
Yeah.
I'm glad. Thank God somebody in Orlando is still doing a luau because it's an absolute fun thing to do when you're at any
Mhm.
type of Hawaiian themed resort.
Yes, that's like the thing. It's like you got a luau. We going to luau, right? Right? You're gonna bury the pig in the pit and everything. That's one of those things you got to do. But yeah, that is on my list to do the Universal luau because I've been meaning to do it. I stayed at the Royal Pacific, but I didn't do the luau. So that's kind of like
How was
oh
staying
yeah,
there? How was the experience of the hotel?
it was awesome. It was so awesome. I did a wow, back in the day when I was had more disposable income actually. I did a split trip where I stayed at the Royal Pacific and then I went and I stayed at the Polynesian. And I actually like the Royal Pacific a little better in that everything is in that everything is inside. Like all the rooms are inside. The restaurants are amazing. That's in there. I think Wolfgang Puck's restaurant might still be there. I don't know, but I had a great time that was
And
there.
you
And
take
plus, with
the
that level of hotel, you get the water taxi.
yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
So you take the water taxi, and you also had, the express line privileges with your room
That
key.
would
But
like think about that benefit to a universal vacation. If you're from out of town, okay, right now, if you are looking at a Disney vacation versus a universal vacation, and you can add Epic next year and anything else you want to add, and then you go and you compare, well, let's see, I really want to make sure that we're riding all the rides, honey. So let me look at the price point here. Okay, I want to stay over here at the Polynesian. And oh, it looks like if we want to add their version of the Express Pass, they call it the Premier Lightning Lane. It costs, is it $400 per day per person? Am I looking at that right? So
yeah,
that's
I
an extra
got
$1,600 a day for our family. The room is $1,200. The tickets are $150 a day plus almost $200 a day to get in now. Now let's look over here at Universal, where we get the express pass included in our stay. The room costs $600 a night instead of $1,200 a night, and the tickets are
Mhm.
roughly about the same price. But like, you're going to get so much more value
Mhm.
when you stay at Universal and do a Universal vacation. It's
Exactly.
if
When
you
I
are
tell
if
people, oh, sorry, go ahead,
No, I just seen like if you're just a family looking at how you're going to spend your dollars and the value for what you're going to get for your money, and you realize, wait a second, they've got this DreamWorks land now. They've got stuff for the kids. They've got a whole Kung Fu Panda thing, and then of course Mario and Donkey Kong, right? If you're going to add that to the whole bunch of things that your kids are into, I guarantee you there's a lot more kids into Mario and Donkey Kong. If they can ever add Sonic, that would be a big bonus. but there's so many more kids into that than they are into Mickey Mouse. Just period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so true. And I tell people, if you're planning a trip to Universal, if at all possible, if there is room in your budget to stay at one of the premier resorts, just because you get that um, express pass added on. If you can't, totally understandable. But if there's a way that you can work it, that is definitely a plus, especially if you have a lot of people with you. You have to do the math, but that's one of those things where I'll tell people, look, if there's any possible way that you can swing it, definitely definitely do it. So the switch from there to holidays at the parks, I had to look at this because Disney Springs, and this is something else that a lot of people haven't really caught on to, and more people probably do, because it's free to park at Disney Springs, because the restaurants are so much better, with the exception of the Animal Kingdom. I'm going to take that out because Animal Kingdom food and beverage is freaking amazing. They're absolutely amazing. You go to Disney Springs, you've got all the celebrity chef restaurants that are there that are way better quality than in the parks. You'll have these little places like Everglazed Donuts, which is a Florida company. Their donuts are so darn disrespectful, and you're going to need an insulin shot for these. But oh my gosh, I want one of these so bad.
I need you to compare Everglazed to Voodoo for me, because I don't know if is one better. Are they equal? Are they?
They are different. I would say that Everglazed has a lot more sugar, like a lot
Hmm.
more buttercream, a lot more embellished um, donuts than Voodoo donut. They're like the same but different.
Hmm.
I would say they're both of the donuts are worth the money because of how handcrafted they are. Everglaze goes over the top with a lot of their toppings and buttercreams. So that's there. And yeah, you don't see people with the Everglazed boxes everywhere. That is true because Voodoo Donuts has that thing about the pink boxes. So they're different. They're different. Voodoo Donuts is more of like a boutique experience in a way, and Everglazed is kind of like the place where you go out of the way, the local place to get some really good and really good donuts. I like both of them. I really do like both of them for different reasons. Of course, Everglazed is a local company. That's like a Florida company. So
You know, I'll tell you. Here's a sad fact that's true about me. I've never eaten at Salt and Straw. I've never had a single ice
you
cream.
are not missing a daggone thing.
Really,
Okay.
because people brag about Salt and Straw, and I'm like, is it
No,
really? You
no,
know,
no. I went to Salt and Straw. And I didn't like how much that ice cream cost because as soon as I tasted it, I'm like, do you know I could get a half gallon of ice cream at Publix with stuff mixed in it like this for cheaper? I mean, I didn't see the value in it like the value that I see if I go to like say Gideon's. $6 for a half pound cookie. I'll pay that because it's so darn good. I don't $9 for a slice of cake. I would pay that because those cakes are absolutely delicious. But Salt and Straw, I don't know why people go in there. Honestly, I tried it. I think I did it on live stream. I tried it and I felt ripped off. Let's put it that way. I didn't think it
I-
was really all that great.
one of the best, most surprising places that I ever ate at Disney Springs was Splitsville. I was
Hmm.
taken aback about how good everything that I ate was at Splitsville, and it was weird because it was pizza and sushi, like so very different things in my order there because of variety, but
Hmm.
really surprisingly good. Both the pizza and the sushi, and of course you get to bowl, and so that was all. It was a very you know
Honey
I was just surprised by it.
Yeah. Honey lavender ice cream at Salt and Straw is next level, though. I'll take your word for it. I wasn't too impressed with what was offered. It's quality wise, it was good, but I just thought they were charging way too much money for it. But what we're talking about basically is like what's going on at the parks during the holidays. Ron and I have been um, in the parks and have checked out lots of things that are going on. I have not had a chance to make it to Animal Kingdom in the evening yet, but I've seen a lot of these decorations over in Dino Land during the day, like the T Rex skeleton. It's got like have you seen it? It has like the Santa hat on it, and it
I need to
has
get
like
over there.
all through, yeah, like right here, it has like the lights like all through the skeleton and everything. You've got, let's see what's up here. You've got these lit up, the dinosaurs that are lit up. You got the cheesy decorations. Like this one is next to where the meet and greet is for Donald. Which, if they're playing Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," he will lip sync to it. I love that. He did everything. I'm like, yes, because I love that. But yeah, that's near where the meet and greet is, which is really cool. This is
There's the shop.
inside
There's the
Chester
shop.
and Hester. This shop, the only place you can see a shop like this once this once they get rid of this place is literally over at Universal. If you
They,
go
you know,
to
they
the
need to
shop,
move. They
the
need to
the
move
magic
this to Disney Springs. That like and don't. They need to
agree.
take this entire thing and rebuild it or move it to some space at Disney Springs so we can still have it somewhere on property. It's way too cool. I love this
It
shop.
it is. It's got a train. There's a train that runs through there, and it's such an amazing piece of just the reason that you would go, and this is what Disney was so good at, was making these gift shops that were so unique and different. Each shop was like a different experience. So I love this with his little Santa sack. He's Santasaurus.
Santosaurus. I feel like this shop is one of the perfect examples of being a product of the 90s, because the 90s and the early 2000s, there was such innovation going on in entertainment experiences on vacation, because that's like when your rainforest cafes came online and stuff like that. And now people are calling that stuff, well, it's outdated now. And this, and I'm like, I would rather have them recreate this kind of stuff than the bland, beige, gray, boring butt crap that they're doing now. It's I like the playful stuff. I like the colors. I like are the younger people now growing up, are they making it for them and they just like have no style and no taste whatsoever, so they're just making it straight across the board? Is it part of inclusion, so nobody feels bad about something that might be offensive? Or I mean, I don't know what it is, but man, whatever it is, just stop it. Get creative again, please, people.
I think it's cheap bean counter, low effort. We don't want to take any risks. I think that's what that is. Because when I look at, like, say, if I look at TikTok shops and I look at pop-up shops that'll happen, they don't look boring. They don't look bland. There's so much color and other things that are going on. I really think that Disney has gotten to a point, and they've been at that point, where they do not want to take any discernible risk with putting things out there. Universal, SeaWorld, all those other places, they are taking great risks when they go out and do these things. Like, for example, Aquatica does not look like Blizzard Beach. Volcano Bay does not look like Typhoon Lagoon. They are definitely different. Volcano Bay is freaking awesome. I love it. I have not been to Aquatica yet. I probably will this summer, but those were different concepts and they had to take a risk with that. So if you go through Volcano Bay, it reminds you actually of the Polynesian resort with just all the colors and the tiki theming and everything. Even like the lazy river, when you go underneath the volcano, it's got like all this bioluminescence that's under there, and it's got like drawings on the ceiling and like little light points. Yeah, literally.
Is that at Volcano Bay, you said?
Yes, that is.
I can't wait to go. It's hard to believe, but I still haven't been to Volcano Bay. Whereas Wet and Wild, remember the one that used to be there, Wet and Wild?
Yeah, they knocked that down.
Wet and Wild, where of course the hotels are now. That was my very first water park ever in my life. I would come from St. Louis, Missouri, where of course we didn't have any water parks back then, and so that was my very first water park. It was so it was kind of sad to see it go, but my favorite water park that I've ever been to is what is the name of it? It's the one at Atlantis. And the only reason I've been there is because you can stop at Atlantis Island on a cruise. And
on the Disney cruise.
Aquaventure, I think, is the name of the water park. And it is
in the Bahamas.
It's worth taking a 3-day cruise to hit the Bahamas just for that water park. It's really cool. I love that water park.
Oh, I love this.
That's cool.
The Animal Kingdom is one of my favorite parks, like, to go to, because not only do you have that, but they also have, and I'm borrowing Laughing Places article, they have the Merry Menagerie. Have you seen that?
I've seen it. I love the Merry Menagerie. I think it's when did they add it? Like 2019? Was it just before the pandemic? I think.
Yeah, just before the pandemic.
And it is. I know I've got some videos on my channel, some vlogs where the Merry Menagerie is on there, and it is super duper fun. This interactive when you first walk in, and with the with the kids. The cast members doing this are like some of the best cast members. I'm assuming they're entertainment. I hope they're entertainment because I hope they get paid well for what they're doing.
I hope
Um,
so.
because they deserve. I mean, one of the reasons entertainment was slashed so much at Disney is because entertainment cast members deservedly cost more money. And I will say, I think that was a Chapek thing. He slashed entertainment more than he used the pandemic as an excuse to slash
Yeah.
the
And it was
entertainment
such a
budget.
mistake.
And they shouldn't have done that because this streetmosphere, like this menagerie here, it's shows you why they need the streets of Hollywood players. And it shows you why they need the people on Main Street USA, because you want, as a guest, to interact with people and these characters and the entertainment. And it's fantastic. This is the kind of magical stuff that you should experience when you go to Disney World.
It so is. I mean, when you walk in, when you go through the first part of the park and you're going over towards Discovery Island, right in front of like Island Mercantile is on one side, and I forget the other shop that's on the other, but that's where the Merry Menagerie will be. They've got like a steel pan drummer, they've got another musician, and then they have these cast members with these puppets, and they will come up to you, and it's so amazing to watch the kids interact with them. Like this one, they'll come up and they'll blink their eyes back and forth, and they'll rub their face, and the kids will like touch them. They all have names, so you can ask what the names of them are. These little ones down here, they kind of like run off on their own, and then you'll see a cast member with a puppet. That's the mom who's running behind them. This is so cute and such a wonderful. I look forward to this every year, just watching how, and we'll borrow their video. We'll take a look at it right here. But this is so darn cute. Look at this. If I shared the page, okay, there we go. They're so cute, and all the music is like Christmas music that they're playing, and it's so perfect. And the cast members are dressed so that they blend in with the individual marionettes that they have. There's some that have like two like bird kites kind of things that are going on, but they are definitely puppeteers. And yes, it truly is an art. I love it. It really is. It's just, again, so amazing to watch, just to watch like the little kids interact with them. It's great. BR Geist was walking by, and a penguin cast member was having his shoe tied by a helper, but he was still keeping the movements going. It was great. Yes, this is one of those wonderful additions over at the Animal Kingdom. It is so wonderful for Christmas. I cannot emphasize enough just how wonderful this place is during the holidays. That particular park, there's so much going on, especially with all the cultural touches and everything that they've got going on. It is awesome, and I absolutely love it. What my family would do is when we would come to visit for the holidays, our first day, we would actually go to the Animal Kingdom. And not only the Animal Kingdom, but go over to the Animal Kingdom Lodge as well to see the Christmas tree that is over there at that resort. It is absolutely amazing. And I didn't know they had these little ones for sale. Okay, I'd buy this. I'd buy this. That's just too cute. That's just too cute. I will say the Animal Kingdom has so much stuff. Oh, and these lit up light boxes, but they're in shapes of the animals, and they're put like all on the roofs of the Island Mercantile. You have to check those out. And they've also got like the photo ops and everything that are there. It's my favorite park, actually. I can say for the holidays. It's just such a wonderful feeling. And all throughout that particular park, if I remember correctly, is decorated for the holidays. You'll see like all of these, not only like quote unquote tribal decorations, but improv decorations. Like you'll see a bicycle wheel with like bottle caps and everything that to make it look like a wreath. It's very original. Hey Virginia, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, hey Fire Dragon 57. Good to see you. Good to see you here. And I've got a message to check my ex. What do we got?
Oh, I just sent you a picture of this was last year.
Oh,
If you can.
okay. Okay. I'm gonna try to pop it up because oh wow.
Yeah, so I was there with the family, and then they came up, and they it's so funny because they act like real animals, so they let you pet them and all kinds of fun stuff. It was really
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta check them out if you go. There isn't a set schedule per se. They just kind of
No, they're just out there.
show
Yeah.
up. Yeah, yeah, you're just out. You can hear them with the music and everything while they're there and look for the birds that they have around. They are truly just a lot of fun. I can't even tell you just how much fun it is
And
watching
I
this.
love the costumes of the puppeteers that go along with the animals, like the hats they wear and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool because it's one of those. This is one of those things that is the exact opposite of what Disney usually does. This looks like it. This is one of those things that I would think look like it's not going to work on paper. Like on paper, you go,
Mm-hmm.
wait. So like I can imagine the discussions. Wait, they're puppets, but they're actually people in them, and they are animals, but they don't really look like animals. They're white and they're blue, and how is this going to work? And then like in the execution, it's awesome, right? So whereas 99% of the stuff Disney has done lately, they might think it looks great on paper, but the execution not so much.
No, but you see them and it's just perfect. And kids just gravitate to them when they come out. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like this is great for the kids. This is also great for the autistic kids, by the way, because they're those who
Yes.
are nonverbal and stuff. They react to this in a way that you can't even imagine. It's magical. It will make you cry. I'm not kidding.
It's just like I said, my daughter's on the spectrum. She's not, well, she's verbal, but she sees these, and even now, I mean, she's older now, but even when she was little, and she went to see them, love them. They are, and they do. All of them have personalities. Like they can, and this is a testament to the cast members. Actually, if some kids are kind of hesitant to like go up to them, the animals are kind of like they're kind of hesitant too a little bit. So it kind of puts the kids in like, oh, okay. Well, they're as scared as I am. Oh, wait, my kitchen's starting to fall apart.
No, they are really, really this is maybe one of the best things. It's really weird because it's simple, right? It's so simple, but yet it works so well. This isn't like the massive fireworks show for the Mickey's Christmas party at Magic Kingdom. It's not massive, it's not huge, it's not lights, but yet there is a magic in this that is very difficult to explain unless you're actually experiencing it yourself. That's the hardest part about this. This doesn't really, even in pictures, it doesn't really come across how magical of an experience this is when you are
let
there
me
and you're actually feeling it.
let me see if I can find it. Why can I not find my video? Okay, maybe I can. See if I can find it. I'm trying to remember exactly where they were in the video. Let's see if I can find it here. I think I went like did I go near the end? No, I didn't. Okay.
I recognize one person.
Maybe they were in the beginning. Because I remember seeing the menagerie, and I can't remember. Oh, okay. I'll have to find it. I should have been better. I should have been better prepared. I thought they were near the end. I got to see them, a little bit of them, but yeah, you have to see them. They are amazing. Oh, he knows better not to attack the tree.
It's one of those things at Animal Kingdom that's a lot like Divine, seeing Divine out there. It's one of those
Yes.
special things that it's Animal Kingdom is very close to becoming my favorite of the four parks. It's because Epcot has. I love Epcot, which was always my favorite from my childhood, but they've changed so much of what made Epcot Epcot that it is losing its luster. And so
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom is very, very. It's I would say it's definitely a tie, if nothing else, for me for the number one. Of course, Magic Kingdom next in line. Hollywood Studios for me now is a very distant fourth because as much as I really, really tried to clamor on to Star Wars fan fiction land, it's just not. You know, other people will say, "Oh, it's growing on me." Well, it's growing off me, and I miss the magical things of Hollywood Studios, the great movie ride, the streets of
Yeah.
America, the simple things that made it fun to visit, like you were part of Hollywood and part of a Hollywood set. And if they want to gear it towards going into the movies, then they're going to have to do a better job of that. That's hilarious.
This is what I was trying to find.
Is that still there?
Over. Yes, this is still there.
Oh,
I think this
gosh.
was last week when I went.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're heading towards Dino Land. And you're headed over there towards Discovery Island. And it's just hilarious when you go through and you see that. Daggone it. I just had it. It just disappeared. But anyway, yeah, that's
It's
over
hard. It's
Dino
hard in
Land,
the live
USA.
streams. You know, fast forwarding or rewinding in live streams is hard because they're so long that you can move so much time in just a little bit of space on there.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's you know, there are going to be elements of Dino Land that I miss if they do Central South America well. I've always said that region of the world needs the representation at the parks, and Animal Kingdom is the perfect place to do it. I hate that they have to destroy something to get it, which seems to be the
Yeah.
Disney way nowadays. And I'm also have no idea how the Finding Nemo theater fits in with South America, but it doesn't fit in with anything right now. So it's like its own little thing.
It
But that's okay.
yeah,
I
it
still love the
really
show.
it really doesn't. But yeah, the show was so good. We were just like,
How are
yeah,
they?
we'll let it go. But
I,
yeah, Braylon, I meant to address this real quick. Not really an expansion of Spain with tropical Americas. Since it's not really Spain, it's like over here, basically in the Americas, like South America or so. But yeah, that's why they well, I won't say part of the reason that they did it is because they get a lot of visitors from like Colombia, Brazil, although why I don't know why they didn't drop Brazil in there, I don't know. But there's also been this push to drop Encanto somewhere permanently with respect to the parks. If you're gonna drop it anywhere, Animal Kingdom, okay, but they did it in the way that I said that they would have to do it in order for it to be legit and in order for it to fit the theme of conservation. If they go in the dark ride, which is what they're going to do, they're following Antonio, who his gift is being able to talk to animals. So apparently that's what they're doing. So I'm like, okay,
yeah.
that I can go with, and that would be really cool. Let's see.
Let me say, I don't think they can do anything worse with Encanto than they did with the dumb show at Epcot.
Oh, now it's a rave every night. Every
I
night
know.
it's like Burning Man when you go. It's the freaking worst.
I love
But
this.
even with the parks, I love this at Epcot. So this is the glittering greenhouses. And let me see. I'm just to speed up the playback speed a little bit. So it's the glittering greenhouses. And I love this because this is like the one time of the year where there's a wait more than 10 minutes to
Yeah. Living with
get
the
on
land, yeah.
Living with the Land.
You could they could be an hour plus wait for this Living with the Land, this version
Yes.
of it, and it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. I mean, this thing is so gorgeous. I got in there the other morning early, and the lights are on. Of course, you can't really see them as much during the daytime. And there wasn't much, but here's what was funny. I got in there really early, and there was a 5-minute wait when I walked into the line, a 10-minute wait when I got to the ride. They had changed it to 10, and when I got off the ride, there was a 30-minute wait during the day, just for people to
Mhm.
see this, even before it goes dark at night. And then Dan, I think Dan's Life at the Kingdom, he did a behind the scenes tour of this. That was
Oh,
really
yeah?
cool, that I would like to do, because that's the walking tour, and they do the walking tour at night, which I'm sure they're probably sold out at this point in time. But yeah, this is, and I say, when it comes to Epcot, this is, I think, the most Epcot thing left at Epcot,
Mhm.
because this represents everything that Epcot was supposed to be, and I wish still was, where it talks about how, how things are going to be done futuristically with
Mhm.
agriculture. You used to have that about every aspect of the future, and you don't have it anymore. But this has to stay. I don't think they can get rid of this. Thank God. I don't think Disney can get rid of this,
No.
because it's an integral part of how they run the restaurants at the parks, or at least at this
Right.
park.
Right. With the aquaculture and like a true Creole, as soon as I saw shrimp, I'm like, okay, no, I can't get out the I can't get out the boat because they have the shrimp in these little tubes and stuff. But this used to be like I don't want to call it a gimmick, but when it first started, they had a couple of things lined up. They had lights on them. But then year after year after year after year, they did more and more and more to it, to the point where it's a very welcome overlay. And Ron, I agree. This is one of like the last Epcot things left. Like you have here, if I can stop it, um, where they, of course, they have the stockings, but then they also have the spiel about, the a lot of the foods and spices that we like to use during the holidays, some of them are grown like actually here at the greenhouse. So you actually can see what some of these things are. Like some people have never seen what nutmeg looks like in the wild, or what ginger looks like in the wild, what cocoa beans look like. So they have like a literal grove of nothing but cocoa beans hanging from the rafters with lights on them. So it's really cool that you get to see these things,
Now,
like
I,
blue
I
agave and
I have to admit,
pineapple.
I would not be surprised if there's an area of this that the public doesn't see, that grows certain plants just for particular executives at the. At the
Don't grow it in the fish poop water. That actually is there, folks. Yes.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a very important part of aquaculture. Of
Mhm.
the fish poop, and then that
Fish
acts
poop.
of fertilizer for the greens above. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yep.
And then the
That's how it
ladybugs are
works.
there cleaning out the stuff. So yeah, it's lots of good stuff.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good seeing you, Steel Leg, and Merry Christmas. Yeah, I love going through this. It is so wonderful and calm rolling through there and seeing like all of, like I'd say like the gimmick stands where they have like the presents and stuff that are there, and seeing like all like how the food is actually grown. and what
And
it looks like before it gets
as a side note, please do not get out of your boat to pick a cucumber.
Yes, do not do that. Okay. I mean, I clowned the person who tried to do that, but then I had a similar knee-jerk reaction when I saw shrimp. So I'm like, okay, all right, gotta stay in the car. I mean, it's one thing to think it in your head. It's another thing to get out. And
By
you
the way,
will get
e-
reminded not to get out the
yeah,
boat.
every aspect of this ride is monitored by cameras that you do not see. I don't know how many are in there, but like literally every time I'm on this, I hear, please do not get out of the boat. Please sit down in the boat. Please, like there's like it's interruptive to the regular narration that comes on, and then some cast member somewhere is saying, basically, sit your butt down.
Sit down
Because
and stop trying to get out, It's ridiculous. But another cool thing, if you can see it, like here in the left, like they have a tree, but it's made up of Erlenmeyer glass. There's all these cool little sight gags that you'll see throughout the greenhouses here. So this is such a fun thing to do. Probably say outside of, well, there's this. And then of course there is the candlelight processional as well. So I'm very, very thankful that Disney continues to allow this to be performed. In a way, it would behoove them to do so because I've never seen a performance that has not been packed
oh yeah,
for
sold
the
out.
candlelight processional. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, there is no such thing as a not packed performance. This is one of those things that they fill the stadium, and then they have a watching area outside the stadium. People will stand the entire time to watch. Of course, you have a celebrity narrating, but that's not really what the main attraction is to this. It's the choir, the music, the live orchestra that they have in front of it.
Mhm. Yes.
This the fact that you do not have to pay a separate fee just to go to this to experience it is really, really, like, I'm almost surprised. Like, I don't want to give Disney any ideas, honestly,
I know.
because it's worth it. It's so good. This is one of the few things that I can say at Disney is such a good performance that it is worth the price of admission by itself. Like, if nothing else, if you did nothing else at Epcot, it would be worth the price of admission just to go and see this performance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like the narrators, they have like their own spin. Like they get a little bit of time at the end of the performance to kind of give like whatever thoughts that they would want to give. Some are kind of just very secular. Others are very open about their faith. And I think Damon John, I was surprised because when he was there, it's like he totally went on the faith angle, and in the end, he belted out. He said "Merry Christmas," and just the crowd went like nuts. And you have also, yeah, Brendan was so sweet at narrating. Gary Sinise is one I haven't seen in a long time. I can't wait to see him again. He takes like extra time to talk about his work with the military every year. He charters a flight and brings Gold Star families to Walt Disney World, all expenses paid. Definitely follow that dude's feed. And it is it's it is so many people that come to see him narrate the Candlelight Professional. But yes, the music, the choir. I loved when I got a comment when somebody said, "Can you pan through the choir? Because we have a loved one that we're trying to see." I'm like, absolutely. I
Yeah,
felt bad because I was so into the performance that I totally forgot.
I don't know if they do it anymore. Obviously, the choir is made
And
up of
behold,
voluntary.
the star that they had seen went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshiped him. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh.
If you ever seen Ed, Ed, and Eddie, that's what I was thinking about. They had gold, frankincense, so they had hot dogs and money and fur. That's what I thought about when he
Funny.
said that. It was so funny to check out. But yeah, I mean, this is so. It's always packed. The music, the singing, the songs. This is one of the few things with Walt Disney's stamp on it that is still out in the parks. People will literally stop if they're walking by to just be able to listen to the candlelight processional. So it
I
is
have done that many
so much.
times. And they I don't think they bring in school groups anymore, at least not right now, but they did also used to bring in school groups along with the voluntary cast member choir. So all the choir that's on the sides are voluntary cast members from all the ranks of cast members at Walt Disney World. So you can be any role and you can go audition for this. And if you can sing, they'll put you in this choir. And a lot of they put in a lot of extra voluntary hours to do this. The choir does, and then the main choir on the tree are the Voices of Liberty, and they used to, I think, bring in some school groups. I don't know that they did it for every show, but I know they had done that in the past. I don't think they've been doing that lately, but they might eventually again. I don't know, but it's an amazing thing to see because the voluntary. The orchestra, I don't know if the orchestra is getting paid or voluntary. I shouldn't say that, but they bring in a full live orchestra, and I don't think that the orchestra members are cast members, although I could be wrong about that. I know the choir are definitely cast members.
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I
I'm
think
not
they
sure
brought
what
in the
it's called.
Orlando Philharmonic or something like that to when I remember when I saw it with Anne Margaret last year, they had announced who they were. But I haven't gotten to see it yet this year, and I'm a little bit running behind. I actually wanted to see Brendan and Ralph Macchio, who was there last night and tonight, and I want to see Gary Sinise, and I will do everything I can in my power to get there on Monday night. I don't know if you're there, Lorena, but I'll
I
there. I'll
will.
see
I will
you.
be there
Yeah.
Monday night. I'm planning to live stream at 6:30, which means I will probably be there crazily early to get to get into the
Gary's,
standby line
yeah.
for that because I know it's going to be absolutely insane. So yeah, folks, you got to check out.
Got to see the Gairmeister. Also, this is funny, but I know that these celebrities they bring in, they stay at the boardwalk. The reason I know they stay at the boardwalk is I was working at the boardwalk one year when Gary Sinise walked by and he was checking out and he walked like 5 feet in front of me. I was working at the DVC. I was working at the DVC kiosk, the little one when you first walk in and it's to the right.
Yeah.
And he walked in front of me, and it was all I could do in my power to stop myself from getting myself fired as a cast member to say, Lieutenant Dan, you grow your legs back, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant.
I may not be a smart man, but I know you can't just grow your legs back. But
Oh my gosh.
the reason they stay at the boardwalk is if you've ever been to the boardwalk, you know they have some really nice cottages there that are big, sweet cottages. They're like 2-story and 3-bedroom and big. So they put them up there, and there's a backstage area that they can go from the boardwalk to backstage at Epcot without ever having to interact with the public. Very easy to do. So,
Oh,
yeah.
well, that makes sense.
Yep.
That definitely does. So that explains a narrator just appeared on a boat. Never to be seen.
That is true. Yeah, they do. They just appear on a boat. So, but if you ever want the chance to see a celebrity without this at Christmas time, I suggest staying at the boardwalk because you never know, you might run into him. Although Josh Gad was all over the place when he was here for this. I've seen so many pictures of people. Oh, I saw Josh Gad, and they were taking because I think Josh Gad was one of like the second speaker or something this year. He was there,
Yeah.
and he spent like 3 days in the parks with his family, and he's apparently pretty cool to take pictures with people that if you say, hey Josh, can I get a picture? Like, I guess he's cool and does that kind of stuff. But I don't. I am in a photograph with Josh from when I was working at one point in time. It's a weird thing. It's my reflection. There's a picture taken, and I happen to be standing somewhere to where my reflection is in a mirror of the picture. I'm like, oh, I'm in a picture with Josh Gad, as it turns out. Not that I ever wanted to be. So yeah,
I
he's
hear you. I hear you.
he has his talents, and that's all I'll say about him.
Well, to go from Disney on over to Universal, there's
Oh, it's
two
the
things
Grinch.
that you must do. This dude, whoever he is,
With his coat and his hat out, just like Saint Nick. I'm
yes,
speaking in rhymes,
he is the absolute freaking
The
best. The
Grinch.
Grinch. The Grinch, you can see him in the Grinchmas Holiday Spectacular, which a lot of it reminds me of being at the Radio City Music Hall performances several times during the day. It is at least 2 hours to do the meet and greet with the Grinch, which people will wait that long to meet the Grinch. For real. I don't know what team members, whoever they are, they literally I see them and they are the Grinch. I mean, they have it down to the prosthetics on his face with like the fur and everything. It is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And one of the cool things about this show is that they have the live dog. Let me see if I can find Max. Where's Max?
Aw.
They have Max the dog, who he has. Let's see if I have him when it comes out.
One of the
He has a trainer, but the trainer is concealed. See, there's Max. There's
oh,
yes, real dog.
that's
People
cool.
are just like, I don't care about the people. Where's the dog? It's just like, where's the dog? Yeah, that's him. That's Max the dog.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. I would imagine that part of getting in character for the Grinch is just sitting there and having somebody do your prosthetics, and by the end of that period, like, I'm so freaking grouchy now. You're just in character. There, I do not like this process.
Everything is better with the live dog. Yes, and right on cue after the cast, you know, does their courteous bow and everyone's clapping and they leave the stage. Then Max turns off and starts running off the stage with follow the rest of the crew. He's so funny. I also think he's part of the Animal Actors show too, as well. But his trainer is like down on the floor behind that blue barrier, what you see down in the front. So she's like down there to like give him treats and and direction and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And the Who's are actually out in Seuss Landing. So if you love How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Who's are all out there for you to take pictures with and interact with between shows. So that's also fun to
Is
do as
the
well, and included with admission.
is the song "Where Are You Christmas" in this show?
Yes,
Okay,
because
it's
I
one of
get
my favorite.
copyright claimed every single time.
Oh, that's okay. I love that song, and it was one of my favorite parts of that movie.
It's so cute. But yes, Cindy Lou Who sings that, and yeah, I get claimed every darn time.
Where are you Christmas? What can I find you?
Although my one nit about this show is I don't particularly like that they pick the narrator. Her voice is not deep enough, we'll say, for singing "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." It doesn't. There's just something really off. It doesn't. It doesn't. It really does not match.
Oh, is it a female voice singing that? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
you're a mean one, Mr.
It's like
Grinch.
it doesn't work. Not. It's like if you're going to do a female voice, do a rendition of that, and it's like they need to work on that part. It's every
Need
time
to
I
have
see
the
this.
traditional, you're a foul one, Mr. Grinch.
Mhm. And he's so perfect. I mean, he is hilarious. I love him. So you have got to see the show. It is over in Islands of Adventure, over in Seuss Landing. So you can go there. The times are posted. There are a couple of performances that have an ASL translator. As a matter of fact, when I recorded this, when I did this live stream, we were right next to the ASL. The ASL interpreter. They also have breakfast with the Grinch over in Circus McGurkus. So that's another place where you can meet the Grinch. And as if that wasn't cool enough, over in the Studios Park, they have the Christmas parade. And if you are a Universal Orlando annual pass holder, you get a special area in front of Mel's Drive-In to watch the parade. And you literally have the best seat. You can see the parade coming and going. And it's such a great perk as an annual pass holder. And you literally have the best seat in the house to watch the parade, literally to watch it twice. And you have all the floats, which are fun. The penguin with the candy cane mallet, that he's new. So he was new. And all these people right here are like team members. So they were like cheering on their fellow team members to finish strong at the parade. It was just so much fun. So much fun watching them. But yeah, there's the mallet and let's see,
Also,
all the elves.
I would say this. This is very reminiscent, of course, of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's kind of like seeing a version of that here in Orlando, but the weather is so much better.
Oh yes. And we don't have to listen to I'm gonna get in trouble with Marvin. Listen to so many boring musical numbers. We just get to see, the floats and the stilt walkers here who are flipping amazing. They're great. You get to see Santa Claus and
Hey, Lorena, did I ever tell you my stilt walker story?
I don't think so.
When I auditioned for Halloween Horror Nights, you may not know this, but when they do an open call, and there's thousands of people that come out for the open call for Halloween Horror Nights. So I come out and there's this line, and they're like, yeah, it'll be probably 2 or 3 hours wait just to get in there. And I'm like, well, what's that shorter line for? And they said, oh, that's for the stilt performers. So I go get in the stilt performer line. I've never walked on stilts a day in my life, but I lied. So, and I told him, and I got as far as I got the weigh-in. I was fine. This was 2010. I weighed a lot less. So I got through the weigh-in, and I got through everything, and I'm putting on the stilts. Okay. Putting on the stilts, and I said, it's been a few years since I've been on there. I don't know if I'm particularly like super comfortable, like now that I'm about to get up. And like, oh, that's okay. We'll just move you into the other room. And I must have butted 3 hours ahead of people waiting in the general line by lying and saying that I was a stilt walker. And then they just moved me into another room. And then on top of that, I got hired. And for the general audition, all they did was say they literally went around 30 of us that were in the room asking one question, and it was how we answered it as to whether we got hired or not. I'm not kidding you. The question was,
wow.
What's your favorite Halloween candy? And so I answered, my favorite Halloween candy is peanuts and candy corn mixed together because it tastes like a payday. And that got me hired. That got me hired. I couldn't believe it. So that's my whole Halloween Horror Night story. You lie and you talk about a gross candy, and you get hired for Halloween Horror Nights. I'm a bad example, kids. Do not follow me.
Speaking of kids, and my channel members got to see this, but over in SeaWorld It's Elmo. I try not to throw nothing at her. I don't like Elmo, but Rosita was with them, so that's cool because Rosita gets on his freaking nerves, and I love it. So they have a replica of Sesame Street at SeaWorld, which
So cool. It is
oh,
Sesame Street.
it is. It just gives me goosebumps when I see it. But they
Lorena,
have this regular parade, but then they have a Christmas parade.
can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Not
Can you
yet in this
tell
part
me
because I'm
how
still
to
trying
get-
to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. But this parade it's not like it's a parade that just goes by. It's like it moves into position, and then you have this whole script that runs. So there's characters that go around and the songs and they dance, and then at the end they all kind of start to roll out and everything. But it's so much fun, and the families that are there just love watching that. This is included with the price of admission. The Christmas party is included with the price of admission. It runs twice at night. So you see there are the floats, of course. There's the count. The
Oh, the
count's the
count.
man. The count is the man.
Christmas light. I love the count.
So this is them rolling. Then after they do the main performance, then they start to move the rest of the floats out, so you can see them. They even have Barkley. Barkley had his own float. Of course, there's Ernie and Bert and Cookie Monster, and
Hi, Ernie.
seeing all of them. That was just so much fun to see. Another benefit, because I'd never been to SeaWorld for Christmas. I'd heard a lot about it too, but had never been. So like this was last night. We saw the ice skating show. Gonna see the nativity show next time I go, but I couldn't do both.
It's
That
hard
in
to
the
fit
back was the
everything in.
icebreaker. It really is. I'm just like, I can't do everything tonight. We're gonna have to like go back. But this was so cool. This guitarist was awesome. He literally did the Carol of the Bells, well, Nights in Sarajevo by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's pretty much what he did. So dude just like shredded it. And then of course you see the icebreaker coaster in the background. But this guy is the pre-entertainment before you see the ice skaters that come on. And this was a true ice skating performance, not that half-ass thing that
No,
they
this is
did.
amazing.
Yeah. At Jollywood Nights. I don't know why they didn't get the Disney on Ice people to do that at Jollywood Nights instead of what they had. But this show was absolutely stunning to see.
By the way, unlike Jollywood Nights or the Mickey's Christmas Party, you do not pay extra for any of this. It is just
That's
your
correct.
day ticket.
That is
And if you're a
correct.
pass holder, you get to do this. So this is really good. So you probably didn't do this because you're an adult, but the Santa Claus meet and greet experience at SeaWorld is like nothing else. I have finished editing. If you don't mind me saying, if you don't mind me plug this, but I just finished editing my SeaWorld vlog. I just tested it on YouTube to make sure that it's going to pass all the copyrights. It will be up in 4K on the channel probably, let's see, what time is it? It's 2:00. It should be 5 or 5:30, possibly a 6 o'clock premiere, depending on how long the render takes on YouTube for 4K. It should probably be 5 o'clock because it's only about a 13.5-minute video, but it is the Santa Claus meet and greet experience at SeaWorld this year, and it's like nothing else. I'm telling you, you get to walk literally to the North Pole because they have that wild Arctic walk experience. You can put your hand on the ice to feel that you're at the North Pole. And there's narwhals and penguins and a walrus there. So you actually get to see these North Pole like animals. And then when you go and actually meet Santa Claus, the elves grab you from behind a door, and it's an entire backstage area at SeaWorld that they're using this year. Then they have this thing called the Reindeer Express, which is a miniature train, like an elf-sized, kid-sized train you physically get into, and that pulls you to where Santa's North Pole barn is. You walk through a really well-lit area into like this field of Christmas trees, and then an elf takes you into the barn for your own private meet and greet experience with Santa and his sleigh and the barn. It's very, very cool. So all of that's basically the whole vlog, is what the Santa Claus meet and greet experience is. This is like what you're seeing here. It's not even on that. So it'll be a very different experience. If anybody wants to know what the SeaWorld Santa Claus meet and greet experience is like, check my channel for about 5 o'clock. I'll be premiering that video.
Oh, well, that would be awesome. I cannot
So it kind of goes along with this. So.
Oh, yeah, that'll be awesome. So you guys have got to check that out. This, again, you get the snow. SeaWorld does not go cheap with the snow. It is everywhere. This Snope was flying so much, I thought I was back home in Philly for Christmas. Because not only do they have the Snope, but they also have the fireworks. And here is a hint. You go to the 8:30 show. Literally, as soon as that show finishes up, the fireworks immediately start. And you've got like the sea of trees that are out there, and they're all synchronized. It is nuts. It is one of the sickest fireworks displays I've seen in a long time. It is, I would say it is up there with the Halloween fireworks for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
SeaWorld does not hold back, and they've been doing, they had that challenge, obviously, in the early teens with, the whole documentary that came out against them and everything. So a lot of misinformation in that documentary. A lot of that was not true. But because of that documentary, they're having to phase out their entire Orca program, which they will be doing whenever the orcas that are presently there eventually pass. That will be the end of the Orca show. However many, that could take still a couple decades, but point is, they've had to revamp what their park is all about. So this type of live entertainment with real human beings, and they do still have the dolphin show and they have stuff like that, but they have a lot less of that. They do have the aquariums, so there's plenty of animals to go see. There's sea turtles, there's alligators there. By the way, the alligators at SeaWorld are on loan from Gatorland. That's why they're little. That's why you don't see big animals. It's true.
Babies.
Yeah, so when the babies get to be a certain age, they actually go back to Gatorland. And I know that from having worked at Gatorland. But yeah, look at this. This is a spectacular show. SeaWorld holds nothing back, and they are now the coaster capital of Orlando. They have more roller coasters than any other single park in Orlando because they've had to brand that way. So there's a lot more to do. The one area where SeaWorld has to up its game is their food game, because they need to have better food selections.
They do. Although I will say, with the I guess with the food stalls that they have this year, some of it was smelling pretty darn good, and I was really hungry during that stream. I'm just like, bison burger, I may have to try that.
Yeah, and get the hot cocoa. They do a good deal with the hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa, I have to try that. There is also, I cannot believe this is in the park. I'm so excited. There is a Rita's water ice that is in SeaWorld. To those of you who are from Philly and you know about Rita's Italian water ice, they have a Rita stand in SeaWorld. So good. Oh my gosh, you have to try it. I'm pretty sure pretty soon there will be as many Ritas around Orlando as there are Five Belows. It's like this whole Philly thing, Wawa and Five Below, and then now you're kind of seeing Rita's water ice. So there's so much going on in this park. I am really looking forward to doing more live streams and everything and videos from here to check out the park, especially for Christmas. There are trees everywhere. There are Christmas trees everywhere, which make for some of the best photo ops that you can get for people. There's even a through the eras where they have the Christmas trees from like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. There is a photo op from like 1973 that looks like a TV of when SeaWorld first came to Orlando. They even have a orca shark and orca whale and another whale dressed up for Christmas, like they have on their Christmas garb and everything to take pictures with it. All of these little photo ops and things that are around the parks. And yes, Dylan, I had to do a double take. Tom had told me that there was, because the only other Ritas that I knew of was over in Regency Village near where Raising Cane's is. So I knew there was that one that was there. But I did not know they had one in SeaWorld until Tom F told me. So yes, literally, like the Ritas that you would see in Philly, yes, that Ritas. You got the gelati, you got the regular oh my gosh, the regular water ice. Also, not a flurry. I'm forgetting what the heck of the name. Was it a blendini? I think that's what it is. The one where they mix together the custard and the water ice, so it looks like a flurry. You know, you turn it upside down, it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, all of that stuff. So yeah, they got Aritas in SeaWorld. I was freaking amazed. Orcas, hey, OCDD. See, I see you, 93. Orcas live 40 years in the ocean compared to maybe 8 or so in captivity. Last I read, it was an easy decision. In my opinion, these animals are not here for our entertainment. I'm pretty sure there's some folks like you that kind of that feel that way as well. I'm definitely into more of the conservation type of thing. So
Yeah,
some
they
animals
they
live
started
great.
it. I mean, they started that program back in the 60s or 70s where they knew a lot less than they do now. But
Yeah.
the average at I just read it. I just like literally brought it up online. The average at SeaWorld is 41 to 42 years old.
Mhm.
And in the wild, they believe they can live 60 to 80 years. However, they can't really measure the lifespan of an orca in the wild because there's no way to do that. You'd have to find an orca at birth in the wild and track it. And they've never been able to
Yeah.
do that. And they would not do that. So it's more of a scientific guesstimate than anything else. But I will tell I know this because I'm there all the time, because I know so many people that work there. The orcas at SeaWorld have the absolute best care that they can get. With, of course, the understanding that they do have a little bit less, obviously a limited space. They don't have the ocean to run around in them, and
Right.
so that's the biggest. That is the biggest thing right there, is that they're meant to be wild animals. However, every orca that is at SeaWorld currently was born at SeaWorld. They don't have
Ah.
um, yeah, it is. They don't have um, none of the orcas that are there now were the orcas that were captured and brought in. They're all from the births of SeaWorld, but they've ended that program. So so what they're going to do, an orca that has been born in captivity cannot go into the ocean. They would not survive. They're trained obviously to be around humans and such, so they would not have the survival instincts to go back out into the ocean. So you can't really release them back out into the ocean. It
Mhm.
wouldn't work. So what they're doing at SeaWorld now is the ones that are there are the only ones that would be there. They don't have the breeding program anymore. They've ended that, and these orcas that are there will live out their lives. And I don't know. I would imagine they'll keep the stadium, but they'll probably put different animals in that water. Ones that are more
Mhm.
adept for the smaller aquariums. I say smaller. It's actually huge, by the way. It's a huge amount of water, but it's not huge to an orca who happens to be the size of a bus.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are big. They are wild. I know there was the first time that I actually got to see one of them like up front, but yeah, whew, they are really big.
They're
It's
huge.
just
They're
like
huge.
I'm gonna stay back here, and all of that. But yeah, so many cool things that are going on for the holidays. I will actually be at Gatorland. I was supposed to go last week, but I wasn't feeling too well. So tomorrow afternoon, I will be at Gatorland, of course, because they have their ho
Yay.
ho holiday hoedown. This is like the Florida Christmas type of stuff that I that I remember doing, just cheesy Florida Christmas fun. So we're gonna have a blast checking that out. We might meet Jack Frost. We might meet the northern snowmen who started to melt because they weren't used to the weather down here. Yes, they have half melted snowmen that they have there. And of course, they have got Santa Croc and his airboat being powered by all the alligators. And I think Krampus is hanging around somewhere as well.
Speaking of
Reader.
Krampus, I finally got to watch Red One. It's on Prime
Yeah,
now.
what'd you think?
I loved it. I loved it. I don't care what anybody else says.
Ah,
I don't care. My son enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it because it was the movie I expected. Like from the way they advertised it, I thought, okay,
mhm.
this is them turning Santa Claus into a type of superhero, and it's going to be cheesy, which it was, and it's I don't like that there's any cursing in it because it seems like it was made more for kids and they don't really need the cursing that's there. They could
Mhm.
have substituted that word for like crap or something, but other than that, I thought it was the kind of fun movie that I would want. And I didn't pay for it at the theater. It's on Prime now, so I'm like, okay with that. Like I didn't go pay for it.
Ah,
And it was enjoyable. It's funny because if you look at the disparity of that one on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has a 30% critic score but a 90% audience score. So
but yeah, I fell asleep on it, not because it was boring, but because I was tired. SeaWorld had me completely knackered. But from what I saw, I mean, I had fun watching it. If I could go back and I could do a little re-editing and polishing the script up a little bit more, yeah. But other than that, a Krampus
it's
slap fight. I mean,
that was that was that was
that was
pretty that's
funny.
pretty funny.
That was pretty
Uh
funny. And you saw like the reindeer; they were like overpowered
it's a
reindeer.
movie. I want to say that it's on the level with the Eddie Murphy um Haunted
Oh,
Mansion
that one
movie.
was good.
It's on.
The
It's
one
it's on. It's on
last
the
year.
level. It's on the level with the Haunted Mansion the Eddie Murphy version of the Haunted Mansion movie.
Yeah.
It's on the level with that. That means no, it's not a great movie, but it's fun and
It's a
it's
fun family
cheesy and
watch. It's
and I
on time.
cried.
It's a good
So
watch.
it's got that crappy father becomes good father lesson that we all expect. It's done a million times. I don't care. I fall
It
for it
was
every
funny.
time because I'm an emotional wreck and stuff like that. Yeah, it gets to me. So it's cute. I think honestly, I think that I would like Red One way better than I will like Mufasa when I eventually have to watch that on Disney Plus. I'm not going to the theater to support
I
Mufasa.
refuse to go. Did you get your annual pass holder postcard from
Nope,
Mufasa?
and I don't care.
I,
I got the stupid Snow White recipe card thing, whatever, and I'm like, this is so.
I skipped it.
When you go to SeaWorld, Lorena, when you go to SeaWorld, every single month, check on what they have, like in your SeaWorld like newsletter, email, whatever, or at least go to the front and ask, what do they have for pass holders right now? Because you get gifts back that are sometimes worth more than what you pay for the pass.
There's a ornament. I found out that I have to go pick up a SeaWorld ornament. There's also I guess they call it a tasting sampler, but you can go to the different stand, kind of like what the Food and Wine Festival, but they have it like for Christmas. So as a pass holder, I think until the 16th, you have a credit to actually get one, like taste one for free. So I'm wondering if I can use it on the bison burger. But you're right. They even have this tumbler that you can get, this insulated tumbler. You pay $60 and you can use that to fill up at all of like the soda stands the whole entire year. So literally $60 to fill up for the whole year, and you get like a souvenir insulated tumbler.
But at Disney you get an envelope like this.
Yeah, you get an
This is
envelope. I almost chucked that thing. I was just like, what? I don't, what? Yeah, they
by
need
the
to
way,
see.
look at this. It's the Bradley family. It's not every individual pass holder, no matter how many
Now,
pass holders you have in your household, because I just revealed my address. Take that off. Take that
Universal,
off.
the universal magnet I got sent is awesome. Oh, I need a universal magnet. I get that one. I keep forgetting to pick up. It's to the point where Universal gives annual pass holders so many magnets. I start losing track. Oh, I can use it on the burger. Okay. I'm gonna be using that
Bison
on
burgers all around. It sounds good.
I'm so gonna grab that. So gonna grab that. Well, folks, we are going to wrap up. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for the Resort Recon Live podcast. We have fun mixing up, talking about the parks here on this channel. Ron, and I already told us once before, but where can people find you and where? What
All
do
right,
you have
so
coming up?
yeah, follow the Bradley's Fun is the name of our YouTube channel. Some people are watching over there right now. And then today, it looks like I'll have time. 5 o'clock. Look for. I'll be uploading it in just a moment. But it should premiere at 5 o'clock, and that will be the Santa Claus experience specifically at SeaWorld. So it's nothing that you saw today, but it's bringing my son to see Santa Claus. We did that last week. And then for everything else, there's the Daily Dish, which is just pop culture and mostly theme park news commentary every day at 9:30 a.m. And sometimes we go live in the parks for that. And I go live at other times in the parks too. So family vlogs, park live streams, and just like with Lorena, I'm on the Pro Show more times during the week than I know, because you're on it once and then you're on it 5 more times after he cuts the videos. And then Lorena, obviously here with Lorena for Resort Recon, and sometimes the Spice Lounge, and anything else she'll invite me to anytime I can get on. But yeah, follow the Bradley's Fun is that's how you find us everywhere. So whether it's Instagram or X or Facebook or wherever else, it's all follow the Bradley's Fun and you'll find us.
Yes. No, folks, make sure you subscribe to Ron. I've got his details in the description box of the live stream. As for you, girl, let's see. Oh, it's a crazy day today. So at 4 o'clock, I will be over at Retro Nerd Girls channel to do a watch party of one of my favorite Christmas films, which would be The Muppet Christmas Carol. So we're going to be watching that. And of course, at 8 p.m., National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation over on my channel. And of course, Sunday at 2 p.m. Is it 2? I think it's 2 o'clock. I'll check my schedule. I'm going to be over at Gatorland to check out their Christmas offerings. And then at 8 p.m., Florida Man Does Christmas. We're going to be talking about that. So,
you know what bothers me about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
what?
That song is one of the best Christmas songs ever. It never plays on the radio. And instead, I have to hear Last Christmas 15 million times. I hate that stupid song.
Kalikimaka.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. I'm like, what's this song again?
Oh, what's even worse is the covers for that song. Lord have mercy.
I know. I'm like,
Uh,
but Christmas, hip hip away is Christmas vacation. I love that song, and it never plays on the radio. And there's a lot of good Christmas songs that don't play on the radio.
So much fun. But folks, make sure you subscribe to Ron. Make sure you're subscribed to me, especially if you're watching us over there on X. Please do come on over here to YouTube and subscribe. You guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see you all next time. Bye.